Do you hate your corner cabinet? Are you redesigning your kitchen right now and you're like, what do we do with the corner? That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. Hey, I'm Bob Harper with Texas Cabinet Solutions, and today we're talking about corner cabinets, okay? I've talked with several designers about the corner cabinets, and I've worked with all of my clients on this, and you're probably not going to like what I have to say. But basically, corner cabinets are very tricky. They're very tricky because it's a battle between using all of the possible storage space in your kitchen and getting the most functional kitchen you can have. Okay, so this is what I mean. Most people do not want to lose their space in their corner cabinets, right? Or in their corner of their kitchen. They want to use that space and have a cabinet there. The trouble is, corner cabinets are awful to use. You have a few options if you want to use the space. Number one, you can use a corner cabinet, right? So it would be called a diagonal cabinet or corner cabinet. And most often, the best use of this type of cabinet is by having a Lazy Susan in there. Lazy Susans are great. They definitely improve the functionality of a diagonal corner cabinet, but they're still annoying, okay? So if you've ever had a Lazy Susan, again, it's an improvement over the black hole, which is what we're gonna talk about next, but definitely still tough because you have stuff fall off behind in the corners of the cabinet, and then you have this big Lazy Susan in the way that you're trying to fight to try to get those things back out and put them back up. It's definitely got its strong points, but it's got its negatives as well. Then if you want to use the space, the second option is a blind corner cabinet. And I see this being used less often, but I think it's a better use of the space, especially in a small kitchen, because a diagonal corner cabinet takes up a lot of room on the sides, and that prevents you from putting other cabinets that are even more useful and more functional beside it. It takes up some space on each side. So having a blind corner cabinet solves that issue. You can still access that stuff from deep within that cabinet that goes into the corner, but it basically looks like two cabinets just sort of butting up against each other. So it's more functional if you're trying to conserve that space on the sides, but using a blind corner cabinet is absolutely horrible because there's just a bunch of junk piled back there somewhere. I call it the black hole, and you're never going to find that stuff, okay? You're not going to get on your hands and knees and dig it out, and if you do, it's horrible anyways. So you can do some things to level up a blind corner cabinet. One of those would be a magic corner accessory. They're extremely expensive. Depending on your budget, it may not be an option, but it might. And that allows, it's basically a thing where you can pull it out, and it kind of like, it has a corner and you can kind of pull it out and access everything. Has kind of the same downsides as a Lazy Susan, but maybe a little bit more functional than that. The last way to do it is to block it off, which means you just put two cabinets next to each other and the corner is totally dead space. There's nothing there. You can't access it. It's totally blocked off with cabinets. And many designers prefer this way. Almost none of my clients would ever allow me or accept this idea, but it is actually a really functional way because everything that you have access to in those cabinets is easy to get to, at least easier than using some type of corner cabinet, whether it be a blind corner or a diagonal corner. So those are kind of your options. I like when there's enough storage space in a kitchen, I like to block off the corner. If we don't need it, let's just use that space in the best, most functional way that's going to make your experience in your kitchen the best it could possibly be. So there you go. Hopefully that helps you as you're designing your kitchen or as you're thinking about maybe in the future what you want to do with it. There's aesthetics, there's functionality. Hopefully that helps you kind of marry the two a little bit.